There's some cheese around the other side.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the European Daily Culinary Demonstration. This demonstration is organized in frames of a big promotion project, a big international promotion project, which promotes traditional Bulgarian dairy products, which are white wine cheese, Kaskaval and yogurt. Yogurt made of Lactobacillus bulgaricus. It is a starter culture which is coming from Bulgaria. Very famous and very healthy. The nutritionist will give some proofs about it a bit later. This presentation, this cooking demonstration will not take too much of your time. Chef Vicky will give you some ideas how to cook and which traditional Bulgarian dishes you can cook, or any of the European cuisine dishes you can cook with our products. And nutritionist Heidi will give you some nutritionist ideas, nutritionist tips about these products which we are promoting. Just a few words about the project itself. We are doing promotion in Emirates and in Australia, in those big cities that you see on the screen, Abu Dhabi, Dubai in Emirates, and Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide in Australia. We do it through lots of media channels, through advertising in magazines, billboards, and on television. We participate in exhibitions like this exhibition, and we do participate in other exhibitions in Australia and Emirates. We do presentations of our products for specialists in trade and food industry. We invite those people which are interested to see the manufacturing places and to make the direct contacts with producers in Bulgaria. We invite them to Bulgaria for a couple of days to see the manufacturing places and to make direct contacts with producers. We also do thematic dinners in which we prepare dishes including our products, to which we invite as well opinion makers, chefs, bloggers, journalists, and any other people related to the industry. We do the culinary school presentations, demonstrations such as this one, which is by Chef Vicky. The printed materials, advertising materials, everyone will get in the gift sets which are on the chairs, for good memories, good use. And we invite you to become our friends on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and check updates on our website. If you have any other questions regarding the program or the products, ask me when I'm going to be around. And I'm passing to Chef Vicky, which will start preparing something, and then Heidi will continue with Chef, and you will get some nutritional tips about the products. Thank you.
Thanks, Andre. Okay, my name's Holt, and I'm here to show you how you can use Bulgarian cheeses at home. The three dairy products that Andre mentioned, the white wine cheese, the Kaskaval, and the yogurt. The dishes that we will be doing today, the first dish we're going to do is called the Banitsa. It's a classic Bulgarian dish. It's like a pie. It's layers of filo pastry, alternating with a filling of yogurt and white brine cheese in an egg base. Looks delicious. We served it earlier. Was well received. I think that we could probably take it another step further and maybe add layers of spinach or mushrooms to it, which would be very, very good. So that's the first thing I'm going to make. Then Also with the white brine cheese, we're going to do a watermelon and feta, white brine cheese, watermelon, olive and mint salad, finished with just a little bit of red onion that's been soaked in some lime juice. This was a little tip from Nutella Lawson, that the lime juice takes the pungency out of the onion and it also allows the colour to run. You can see some of those plated up afterwards. And then we'll be using the Kaskaval, which is this cheese here, and baking it into a mushroom quiche. I've got the mushrooms on the stove with some roasted garlic and rosemary and thyme. And then finally we are doing a little breakfast parfait with the Bulgarian yogurt, some braised rhubarb and some homemade granola. So let's make the Banitsa.
Give it a little bit more bite.
Hi, I'm Heidi. I'm a dietitian and nutritionist with Scoop Nutrition. Can you hear me okay? How's that? It's a bit better. So we're going to be working alongside Chef Ricky and talking about the nutritional component of these dairy foods. So cracking eggs, is that right?
Cracking eggs.
Beautiful.
Seasoning.
You often add eggs with cheese. They're a really good way to sort of add a punch of flavour.
Well, omelettes, potatoes. I think there's a long history there, really. So 6 eggs, 400 grams of yogurt, the Bulgarian yogurt. Season some salt and pepper, whisk together until it's smooth.
All of the recipes are quick, simple, easy, plus using the dip, showing universal
And then
our product.
the feta, the white brine cheese.
It's like a feta, is that right?
It is like a feta, but I believe the Greeks own feta.
All right. Well, white brine cheese sounds terribly elegant. I think we can all get on board with that.
I just need one of those bowls.
So you've got the yogurt in here and the feta and the white brine cheese.
And the white brine cheese, that's right.
So you've sort of got a double dairy whammy.
A double dairy.
Right, so now we're about to do some tasting. So here I've got a spinach spaghetti.
Pop a little more cheese in there.
500 grams of spaghetti. And then
So this is actually quite a protein-rich dish. I mean, you've got the eggs, which are full of protein, but also the dairy, so from the yogurt and the white brine cheese.
Yes, it's definitely protein filled.
Excellent.
So phyllo pastry, we've all seen it before, we've all used it before. The dish that I'm using is suited to a sheet of phyllo pastry folded in half, which is kind of convenient, really. So butter in half, butter,
And also, if you want to,
another sheet of pastry, more butter, and fold it over.
Could you do olive oil, Chef Ricky?
You could do olive oil, you could do trusty olive oil spray. But I was following the traditional recipe. Spread whole and trim the pastry to fit.
Good tip.
So that's our first layer of pastry in the bowl, and then a generous layer of filling. Now, other things you could add to this filling, you could add roasted garlic, you could add caramelized onions, you could add freshly snipped herbs, thyme, rosemary, that would be good.
And a good way to add more nutrients too, and antioxidants in the herbs. You know, you can really jam pack it full of flavour. Yeah. And garlic too, so good for you, and perfect pairing with white brine cheese.
I think some roasted garlic in it would be lovely.
Shoulder, we're going to do some pork burgers to finish off the day. Thank you very much. Yes.
So any herbs in particular you think would go well with this type of flavour?
I'd like to see some rosemary or some sage in there. Or parsley would be good. But parsley's good in almost anything, really.
Yeah, really quick, really simple, really easy. So, that's the one thing we like about it, isn't it? What we're looking for.
Okay, another layer of pastry, another layer of filling.
And as you said before, spinach would be another way to up the antioxidant level. Going for those really dark green, sort of really, really nutritious herbs and dark leafy greens. You know, forget about cod lettuce, just chuck in like the spinach and the rocket and radicchio, anything really strong and full of flavour.
Or some steamed silver bit.
Yeah, beautiful.
And another layer of pastry.
This afternoon, tasting some delicious pasta. So I've just made this up this afternoon using a spinach, pine nut and pecorino dip.
So filo pastry can be a bit fiddly, but I see you being quite confident with it there and not having any dramas. Do you have any tips for us?
Treat it mean.
What's that, sorry?
Treat it mean.
Treat it mean. Be confident.
Thank you very much. But for more information on any of our products, make sure you come over and have a chat.
Okay, now you can see that I've trimmed the pastry to fit my bowl. And at this stage I'm going to keep the good square for the top, and I'm going to use the offcuts to fill up the dish.
You can also do one with the, we've got cheese and chive dip.
And another layer of filling.
Add a little bit of bacon to it. With corn, we've got a corn relish.
And pop the top on. Okay, in the oven, 180, 170, 180, maybe 35, 40 minutes. When it's cooked, it puffs a little from the egg. It looks really just like a baked quiche. So I'm gonna hand this on to Phil. He's gonna pop out and put it in the oven for me. Thanks, Phil. Okay, so let's get rid of all of this.
So you could serve that with a nice side salad, perhaps?
I think a crisp green salad is quite the right accompaniment for that dish.
Lovely. And it's got a pretty good nutrient profile. You know, you've got the protein, as we said, from the eggs and the dairy, and, you know, a bit of carbohydrates in the flour in the pastry. Yeah, bingo. And then the eggs.
Cheers, and come back please. Okay.
So this one is a spinach, pine nut and pecorino dip. So all we've done is put
Okay, so watermelon salad.
drain the spaghetti off.
New tray, new dish.
Probably 80 to 100 mils of the cooking liquid back into the pan. And then
Very
we've
simple.
added
All the work's been done by someone else. Diced watermelon in the
Incredibly high in lycopene. Very good.
and a little bit more.
white brine cheese. Add as much as you like. I think that's a fairly good ratio. Olives. I've used black olives. I think the colour contrast really is what we're looking for. I do think split green Spanish olives could be good as well, but the black olives are far more startling. Now, thanks to Nigella, because I have quite an aversion to onion, I really actually don't like it very much, but this is soaked overnight in lime juice, and you know, I think the colour and the texture, yes, but again, I would use it a little bit sparingly. And then
We're doing cooking demonstration.
fresh mint, so just a scattering of mint through. Some pepper, no salt in this. I think that you'll find the white brine cheese and the olives to be salty enough. And good slurp of olive oil. And fresh lime.
And if you put lime or any sort of citrus over a dish, it actually lowers the GI of it, so it'll be absorbed slower in your body, which is good. Good tip. Yeah.
Very simple, really. Great for a summer's day.
And you're right, it looks gorgeous, the colours and the textures.
I think the contrast of the fresh melon with the saltiness of the white brine cheese and the olives works very, very well.
Salads don't have to be boring. Often I see clients come to me and they're scared to add like a little bit of cheese to the salad, but it adds so much flavour and good nutrients too, you know, good healthy fats and protein. So a little goes a long way and it adds such a beautiful flavour.
It does. Cheese in salads, Parmesan, goat's cheese, white brine cheese. So that's our watermelon and white brine cheese salad. Keep that. Cheers, thank you. Okay, next we're making a quiche. So you could groan and say, that's not very hard. I haven't made quiche for ages. And I was surprised when I made it the other day. It was lovely. It came out of the oven, looked lovely, reminded me of all of the reasons why we still eat quiche. So, flan tin, lined with pastry. My pastry is homemade. You can buy it in the supermarket if you want. Very simple. I think we all know the drill. Eggs.
Still can't do one-handed egg crack. Just have to practice more, hey?
More practice. Cream. Seasoning. A little grated fresh nutmeg. Whip it all together. Really, quiche is such a quick thing to make. Like, if you're still determined to cook at home, which I certainly am, you know, how lovely to produce something like this family meal in such a short space of time. This is the Kaskaval cheese, which you can see over there. It's hard to compare to anything that we know. It's not a Swiss style, it's not really a cheddar style. It's really quite unique. It has lovely flavour. So the mushrooms that we sautéed before, here's some I did earlier. Generously, mushrooms, the Kaskaval.
So it's a really great sort of Sunday lunch type of meal, isn't it?
I think absolutely Sunday lunch. And again, really simple, on the table, a good green salad. What
people are often scared of you using like cream and things like that, but if you have a modest portion and then you serve it with a big salad, and if you've got these great, really nutritious foods like mushrooms in the quiche, it's a way for you to be eating all these great nutrients, so it's okay.
But also Heidi, when there are plenty of ingredients in the quiche itself, the eggs and cream are really only just holding it together.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect, I love that. So I have put the Kaskaval in the bottom, but from a baking aspect, a little bit of cheese on top just finishes the tart with a lovely golden brown hue. And the cheese is a melting cheese. I haven't tried it on toasted pide with tomato, but that's where it's heading next at my place. So again, generously, cheese on top so we can bake it, and it'll come back all golden brown. Come on, Phil, pay attention.
I feel like that and the white brine cheese would make a pretty epic grilled cheese sandwich.
I think it would make a very epic grilled cheese sandwich. I think the Kaskaval also into a risotto perhaps, or through a pasta, simple pasta, broccoli, cherry, tomatoes, that kind of thing. Thank you. Okay,
Last one.
and for our final dish, rhubarb. So I stewed some rhubarb earlier. It's been stewed with some brown sugar, some apples, and stewed quite generously until both fruit have quite broken down. I mean, I have made this dish before and left the apple or the pear less cooked, so there's more texture. But you know, this is aimed at a breakfast dish. It's not a dessert, and the crunch and the texture in this is coming from the granola. The rhubarb's been stewed, as I said, with brown sugar and lemon juice, and also some cinnamon stick and some star anise, which are lovely flavourings for any cooked fruit, really. So very simple. I need a spoon. This is my homemade granola. You could do it in any way you choose. You don't have to. There are no rules around things like this. But I think to create a layered effect is pretty.
And yogurt's a great way to start the morning. You know, it's really a pretty nutritionally complete food. You've got the protein, heaps of B vitamins and calcium, so things that we often lack in our diet or struggle to get enough of. And it's filling, full of those good probiotics or healthy bacteria as well, which we'll talk about if you want to come back to the next session.
It's filling, Emma, but it's also quite light to eat. So very simple, but on Sunday morning, that and a couple of good coffees, that's what I'm looking for.
So it's a pretty simple thing you could do, but I mean it looks beautiful and very impressive to guests as well.
Very simple, really so easy.
So is the yogurt quite tart?
The yogurt is quite tart. It is. It's quite fresh. So there are no rules. Layer it up as you wish. Okay. So they're the dishes that we have to show today. In a moment we're going to start passing some food around for you. And is the Banitsa ready yet? Just Phil, while you're in there, could you bring back the baked quiche and the Banitsa, please? Any questions? Speaking of Banitsa, just hold back one moment. I just want to show our cooked dishes first. We'll just be a minute.
Demonstration for you.
Any questions?
Great tasting. What we've got here.
Any questions? Anyone hungry?
Slow roast.
I hope so.
We've had this in the oven since about 9 o'clock this
Sorry?
morning. And we've actually...
Is there any...
You know what? Is there a recipe? There are a lot of ingredients. Oh, Phil! Yahoo! Okay, so is that hot? Oh, right. Best you put it down there. Thank you. Here you go. Do you need this for the quiche?
Yes, thank you.
No worries. Certainly.
Quiche, you didn't bake the base before?
No, I didn't. And yeah, look, if I was going to make a dessert tart, I would be more inclined to bake the base. But with a quiche, generally you can find a hot spot in the oven. I know in my oven at home, the base. What is that? Quiche, I don't know, it's just a quiche tends to respond to, it's very quick, it's a very good oven. So it is warm. Yeah, it's golden brown, delicious. And the Banitsa, yeah, I think it's an interesting dish. The granola, email me. I'll see if I can find the recipe. It's pretty yummy, and there are lots of recipes out there. This one's made with all of the bits are baked with maple syrup, and unfortunately a little bit of vegetable oil. But there are lots of recipes out there. I know when I was Googling around, and then I added things like pistachios and figs. So I kind of, yeah, I made it a bit more luxurious, basically.
And there was a question as to whether there was fibre in the granola or muesli, and indeed, yeah, in the oats and in the nuts.
Yeah.
You can always add bran after.
Just because it's been baked with a little bit of vegetable oil and maple syrup doesn't mean it's bad for you.
Yeah, and you can always mix up the oils. I mean, I use olive oil, and it works quite well.
Yeah.
Even though it's got a stronger flavour.
Well, you could use a light olive oil. I think we're ready to eat, really. Shall we have some Banitsa?
Yes, we would like that too. So make sure that you pop your business card in the bars over here, and you can obviously donate to the fantastic taster.
No, I'm fine, thank you. So this is the Banitsa coming around now. You can see that it's been baked in a larger, shallow tray. It's a very, very simple and delicious finger food item to present.
And something you can do ahead of time.
Something you can do ahead of time.
Olive oils or jam?
I'm just going to grab some.
So ladies and gentlemen, head on over to Chris's Dips. We're doing a tasting of a slow roast salad. Would you like some? No, Ladies and gentlemen, over at Chris's Dips,